The way I see it, the Nether is located at the very bottom of the overworld, deep underground through an unbreakable layer of bedrock. The void separates our surface world from the extreme temperatures of hell. It is so deep and so alien that we might as well call it another dimension. Today, I'm going to this strange world to bring back some really important items that would help me in my quest to reclaim my old base. To make things interesting, I have a rule in this world where I am not allowed to create portals. Instead, I can only fix the ones that already exist. This adds an extra layer of difficulty, as I have to be really careful while exploring the Nether. As for the lore behind this, well, in my world, Nether portals were a creation of a very old species of mob, and the secret of how to make them seems to be lost. The details of this will be the topic of a future arc, so stay tuned. For now, I'm after some Netherite, and naturally a Netherite upgrade. So I am off to find a Bastion remnant. Although piglins tend to be friendly given you're wearing the proper outfit, the elite force of the piglins are a whole nother story. They are, after all, guarding one of the most valuable items in the world, and will not let anyone take their stuff. I set up a little hut to empty my inventory and cook some food. Then it was time to enter their base. As I was being extra careful, I tried different approaches. In the end though, I decided to assault the building from the top and make my way down. Using a bow, I took care of those brutes from a safe distance. There are 4 types of bastions. This one I came across is the Hoglin Stables, and as you can imagine, is filled with Hoglins. It took me some time, but I cleared the whole building and opened every chest in it. Sadly, there was no Netherite upgrade in here, so I was off exploring once again. Before setting out to find another bastion, however, I made a quick stop at another structure I saw right across this lava ocean. Nether fortresses are very old structures, created many eras ago, supposedly by the dragons. While they once provided immense wealth to any wanderer who dared to enter, today they might not have much to offer, but for one item. I got some blaze rods to make Eyes of Ender and headed out. It was time to go back out there and search for another bastion. Going through some pretty difficult terrain, I came to find one at the borders of a crimson forest and a warp forest. The treasure room type of bastion, partially hidden behind fungus and netherrack, made me hopeful that it would have what I was looking for. I entered the building and looked around. The interiors of this bastion was pretty intimidating. There were brutes all over the place. I was afraid of getting jumped from above, so I worked my way down very slowly. This was the most tense I've ever been. Any mistake could be the end. After a long search, I found what I was looking for. It was time to leave the Nether. It was no surprise I got lost, considering how much I had to travel to find this bastion. In a place like the Nether, 500 blocks is a huge distance. As I walked out of the building, I noticed a friendly mob hanging out, wearing a saddle. I took it as a sign and decided to use the strider to find my way back. As I traveled through this endless ocean, I thought of the first time I came down to the Nether. It was during my third life when I came searching for ingredients to make potions. At the time, I was looking to expand my base by building a new tower that would provide care for the sick. This was the time I had accomplished the most in this world. With Florence, I mob-proofed all of the dark places at my base, built the hospital wing, and cured many villagers that would become the librarians of Cyan. They supplied me with the best books, allowing me to go further than I've ever been. I finished that building and quickly moved on to the next big project I wanted to tackle, the Grand Staircase. This is going to be the main tower at my base. It is planned to be a hub connecting many different sections of the castle, up and down, left and right, front and back. The walls would hold sculptures, paintings, and other valuable items from my many adventures. This would have added a lot to the castle, had I been able to finish it. I accomplished what I set out to do and returned home safely, but my explorations did not grant me enough resources to call it a day. The Netherite upgrade I found was pretty much useless as I had nothing to upgrade my gear with. So I was back to the Nether once again. I decided to leave a mark here, just like Florence, and build something remarkable. This time, for the first time in this world, a settlement in the Nether. I chose to build it where I left my companion. It was near a massive ocean of lava, making it easier to get around the Nether. I dug down all the way to Bedrock. Then it was time to blow everything up. Initially, I used the little gunpowder I had, and then moved on to use beds. That wasn't enough though, so I had to find other ways of acquiring TNT. Luckily, I got a great supplier who helped me with the lot of gunpowder. All that mining resulted in huge quantities of netherrack, so I expanded my operations by building a smelter facility. Turning all that into bricks, I started to build with it, making it a distinct architecture of the settlement. I added some basalt for a nice flooring pattern, along with some black stone blocks. Then I built a tower to get up to the portal, improved the entrance of the mine, expanded the docks, started farming netherwort, and finally built a bartering hall so I could trade with the locals. This last building marked the birth of Strider Point, our first town in the Nether. This Nether exploration marks a new chapter for this world. For the first time, I'm using Netherite. Even though I still don't have enough to upgrade all my armor, I made sure to use them in 2 of the best gear pieces I have. The leggings were acquired in the last episode when I traveled to an ancient city. It has protection 4 and mending. I added unbreaking 3 and swift sneak 3, making it a very useful pair of leggings for combat. As for the chestplate, I recently crafted it using the last pieces of diamond I had. With Protection 3, Unbreaking 3 and Thorns, I felt more protected against zombies and other mobs that could get too close. I then added a snout trim on the leggings and the coastal trim for the chestplate. They both come with an orange collar from the last pieces of resin I had brought from the Pale Garden Forest. My sword, the Pale Blade, is made of iron, despite having a diamond sword at my disposal. As Julius's origin is closely tied to the Pale Garden Forest, I chose the white iron blade to emphasize that connection. It has some good enchantments, such as Sharpness 4, Sweeping Edge 3, Fire Aspect 2, and Unbreaking 3. While it will never be as powerful as a Netherite sword, I think the sacrifice is worth it for a little bit of storytelling. I've been relying on my bow to counter the Pale Blade's lower damage. With Power 5, Punch 2, Unbreaking 3, and Infinity, the Caesarean bow cuts through enemies like paper. These last few days have been really challenging, to say the least. I had to make some sacrifices in the process, but I'm glad I'm back to a routine. Maybe I'm slowly turning into something else entirely once again, and that may be a good thing. Who knows? I just hope that nothing comes back to bite me once I'm settled.